Let us take a moment to imagine ourselves in the life of a lady named Maria Sheila Munor. Maria hails from the city of Manila in the Philippines, and she's one of the 4 million slum dwellers there. A city which shines bright, has the sparkles, yet it's a country where 1 in every 4 person lives in poverty. For a person like Maria, unfortunately, these bright lights just show a harsh reality that she lives in. One house, just a room, a leaking roof, stray dogs infested with various diseases, just wandering about. Trash, dirt in every corner. The air is thick with stench and desperation. This is where Maria is raising her 2 young daughters. What would you do? I ask all of you here. Well, Maria did not give up on life. She refused to accept the bondage of poverty for her children. And then, one day, when Maria was just up and around town, she was talking to a few of her neighbors, and she came to know of this organization called Grameen Australia Philippines. It turned out to be like many others. When she first heard it, collateral-free loans, and they wanted back. But as she spoke more with others, she found there was a difference here. And the first time she went in to one of our mentoring sessions, the orientation session, they asked her, "What is the dream you have with your business?" And she was like, "I sit at home, I use the corner of my house with a small stove and fry snacks and just sell it door to door. Is that a business? Is that what it really is? I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm still trapped in poverty." And they were like, "No, you've got the skills, you've got the power. All you need is direction." And that's where the Grameen staff sat down with her. 2 trainings later, where she was taught to develop a business plan, manage cash, and she was given guidance on how to increase sales. Notions all she had with her all her life. She simply needed that direction. And how much did it take to start that business? A mere $170 at 1% interest to be paid back in 6 months. And well, Maria's life started changing one after the other. She had found a family for herself, where every week at the center meetings where Grameen staff would come, they'd all sit around, chat around about what went home. But while these conversations would go off, a staff would direct them to think them more like businesswomen. It was just about extracting that potential. And it goes a little far as well. When Maria's best friend passed away, she was down and she couldn't turn up in one of the center meetings. The entire Grameen family went to her. They consoled her, and you know what? They even raised money for the funeral. And that's something she'll never forget. That's something which I will never forget. I've had the utmost pleasure of actually meeting Maria, and when I explained to her what an amazing feat she has achieved, you should have seen her face. She was gleaming with pride. And today, Maria is on her 2nd loan cycle worth $225. And guess what? How has that changed her business? Her sales have doubled from $8 per day to $16 per day. You may think that, it's just $8 and $16. But now she's able to ensure that both her children, the younger one has just started school and the older one is 13, they're both going to school, and that she'll be able to ensure that they stay in school. And Maria has championed her life by spreading out the message to everyone around her. She encourages others to exploit their skills, because that is what freedom is about for them. Now, when I talk about this, honestly, one thing I remember is my mother, Saida, who's in Bangladesh, and the amount of effort that she has put me through to get me an education, the blood, sweat, and tears. Had she not done that, I wouldn't have been standing here. And I wouldn't have been able to tell Maria's story. So just imagine supporting a mother supports such an insane amount of, the simple impact that this has is amazing. And, it's just not about that. It's the journey behind as well. The first person, about 40 years back, who was a professor of economics in a war-torn country, trusted 42 people with simply $27 of his money. There was no business plan, there was no credit rating, nothing, no vetting. And that man proved to the entire world that these people have the capability to take themselves out of poverty. And that was the start of the Nobel Prize-winning Grameen Bank. I really wish Professor Yunus was here so that I could have thanked him. People like Maria, 300 million now, and over the last 3 or 4 decades have been thanking him ever since. Now, what have we been doing? Inspired by Professor Yunus's work, Grameen Australia believes that when successes such as Maria's happen, Grameen Australia succeeds. So far, over the last 2 years, we've supported more than 2,000 entrepreneurs. We've trained more than 3,500. We've given out loans amounting to $600,000 or more. And in each of those families, all the kids have gone to school. Today, we are here to ask you to support us. How? If you support us today with $15,000 to start one center, that finances 50 such Marias. Their training, their mentoring. We are able to ensure 74 livelihood opportunities are created. That's all we ask. One center, 15,000, 50 entrepreneurs. 2 centers, 30,000, so on and so forth. Best part is that money comes back. It gets lent out to the next impoverished person. It allows you the opportunity to allow many other kids the opportunity that your kids have. The fair shot at life. And at the end, you get to be a part of that journey of creating a world without poverty. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.